Learning outcomes from such incidents include: ensure every drilling operation begins with the discussion of the top 3 concepts. Always use updated reservoir pressure data for defining drilling fluid weights. Make sure that any change in the drilling plan is governed by an approved management of change process. In case of well control, shut in the well immediately as per ADCO procedures and consult your supervisor. In conclusion, well control incidents must be avoided by all means, as they can lead to blowouts which have catastrophic impacts. At ADCO, we expect from all the well drilling stakeholders to ensure 100% full implementation of ADCO well control integrity assurance system.
So this is how the well control, the blowout accident happens due to carelessness of the manpower and the techniques which we use. So that is why before we go into any drilling operation and buying the rig, yesterday we were seeing the drilling compliance and the standards which we use for buying the drilling rigs, and that should be a correct monitoring of the materials which we use the standard. So that is very mandatory. And there are a few more videos, but the thing is, I'll do one thing. I'll share all the videos in the Google Drive. So like because we have to complete the project, we have very short span now for that. So like let us go into our session today. Yeah, is the PPT visible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
So like today we have to learn like what are the type of rocks and what is the cycle of rock. So which is very important. So like these structures and everything. So many people in our surrounding, you might have visited so many places, a hill station and all. So the each and every place, the soil, the rocks, they have an history, how they formed and everything. Okay, so their patterns, with their patterns and how they look and what are the colors you see in the rock, the soil. So this speaks more about the rock, like what is their history and how these things has been formed in million year ago. So like majorly there are 3 types of rock which exist in our world. Okay, so one is igneous, and second is sedimentary, and third is metamorphic. So we are likely more connected with the sedimentary rock because as oil and gas, we extract all the hydrocarbons, the crude oil, the gas and everything from the sedimentary basins only. The igneous and metamorphic is the older version. So let us see deeper. So now let's see what is igneous rock. So like igneous rocks are crystalline solid which form directly from cooling of magma. So what is magma? So like there are so many volcanoes. So from the volcanoes, usually the volcanoes situated in the Japan and various other country where the volcanoes are everyday active. So this volcano sometimes it gushes out and it comes out, and it comes to the contact with the atmospheric pressure and temperature, and suddenly it gets cooled up. So if the hot molten, it gets very fastly get cooled down, so it will get crystallized. So like for example, the black diamonds and the diamonds and all, it formed from coal. So like during that time also some volcanic eruption and everything might have exposed in the earth surface, and suddenly it might have came to the cold the temperature. So the solidification and crystallization happens. So if any molten material, it gets rapid cool, to the cooling temperature, then suddenly it will get into crystal form. So this, the earth is made up of igneous rock. So at least at the surface where our planet is exposed to coldness of space. Okay. So like the first when the earth got formed, like as per our earth theory and everything, the meteor hit the earth surface, and the volcanic eruptions were there. So in our history, geologists has predicted, so it is not 100% true, but we assume like that. This is how the igneous rock, formed, and even if any volcanic eruption happen, it gets cooled down means it will become a crystal. So this type of rock. So in this rock, you can see so many crystal particles, because here this brown, black, and the white, all these, if you take in this hand, it will look like a crystal. Okay, so not a clean crystal, but it will be in the crystal form. So this, whenever you see any rocks, in your surrounding, so it's look like the crystal formation. So like these stones, you might have seen outside also. So these rocks, sometimes it's come to the earth surface, and these are igneous rocks. So like yeah. So texture relates to how large the individual mineral size are in final solid rock. In most cases, resulting grain size depend on how quickly the magma cooled. In general, the slower the cooling, the larger the crystalline final rock. Because of this, we assume that coarse grain igneous rock are intrusive. In that they cooled at the depth in the crust, where they were insulated by the layers of rock and sediment. Fine grained rocks are called extrusive and are generally produced through the volcanic eruption. So as I said, so like for example, if fastly it get cooled, if the molten rock, the molten lava from the volcanic, if get easily, on the fastest way, if it get quickly cooled up, then the crystal size will be bigger in the rock. For example, if it is not, if it contains any small grains or medium sized grain, so it will be into a different form. So here you have to yeah. So like based upon the the color and the size of the rock and the crystals present in the rocks, you have to predict what type of rock it will be. So like we'll be seeing the pictures and so many things before we enter into the core analysis project. So this is like a kind of a basic, because during core analysis we'll be entirely seeing into the sedimentary rocks. So before we go into that, we should know what is that basic. So most of the people, you might know the granite rock. Okay, so granite is an example of igneous rock. Okay, so this rock, it will be look mostly it will be look like a crystalline rock. So the marble which we use, all these things, it might super cold through the volcanic eruption, and it has become the igneous rock. So you by evaluating and analyzing the texture with your own eyes, without any microscope or any other scanning electron microscope, so you can check the rock, what is the quality and everything. So like as we see, so these igneous rock, sometimes it might be, it might have having a composition with basalt or some other type of rocks. So this rock sometimes it become a chemical property rock also. So how to find out the chemical property, the property of the rock. So like you have to dilute hydrochloric acid in a plastic, the bottle. Okay, so HCl they never react with any plastic because HCl concentration, it can erode and corrode everything except the plastic. Okay, so in the plastic bottle, like you have to take the hydrochloric acid and you have to dilute, and the concentration level should be only around 2%, and you have to dilute as per that. So once you spray the HCl on the rocks, it will show the brisk effervescence. Okay, if any reaction shows like bubbling and all on the rock, then definitely it is a chemical composite rock where the chemical properties of the rock are present. If they show zero result, then it is not a chemical rock. So like this, there are few steps are there. So this is one major step to find the chemical type of rock. So now let's see the sedimentary rock. So sedimentary rock you can find very common in the places. Mostly in the most places on the surface, the igneous rock which make up the majority of the crust are covered by a thin veneer of loose sediment, and the rock which is made as a layer of the debris get compacted and cemented together. Okay, like the sedimentary log, in the if in the books, if you see the geology and any other thing, the sedimentary log, they might have telling that like fertile soil will be there, or sometimes sandstone, shale stone. So like this, the quality stones will be there, and in that we find oil and gas. But in the reality, it is not like that. So the sedimentary rock, always it might have mixed with each other, and it look differently. So in the sedimentary rock, there are three major type of rocks like clastic, and the chemical and the organic rock. So like the clastic is a basic sedimentary rock. So in this, you will be finding a small mixture of rock. So in upcoming slides, I'll show you how the sedimentary rock looks like. So it will be like the compaction and the cementation of the small broken rocks with the cementation of a bigger rocks. So this picture I'll show you because one second. Yeah. So this is a sedimentary rock. Hope you see the rock structure. So here, this dark brown color and the medium brown color is a cementation. Is a cementation of that is also rock, but it is cementation rock. And this white color rocks and the gray color rocks are fragmented inside that. So it is a the broken structure of the rocks. So here, what happens? Sometimes this type of rock only we called as a clastic rock. So sometimes in this core also oil and gas present. So in the earth surface we have so many type of rocks. If you travel anywhere, so you can collect the samples, and you can do the justification which rock it is and which rock is that, and with the acid also you can test on that. It is eco-friendly. You can do that. So like this is one, and second is like as I said, the chemical rock. Already I have said like it is the thick deposit of salt and gypsum can be formed due to the repeated flooding and evaporation over a long period of time. Okay, so here what happens? Sometimes the carbonate type of rocks and some carbonic matters will be present in that. So this will create and lead to the chemical formation of the rock. So when we spray the chemical, the HCl on the rock, you will be finding the chemical rock. So likewise, clastic you can see easily where the compaction and cementation will be there with the broken off rocks. Okay, that is clastic, and second is like chemical. With the test you can predict whether it is there or not. And the third is like organic. So any accumulation of sedimentary debris caused by organic process. Many animals use calcium for shells, bones, teeth. These bits of the calcium can pile up on the seafloor and accumulate into thick enough layer to form an organic sedimentary rock. Okay, so this rock, even at my home I have some samples which we recovered from ONGC platform B193. So it is the largest and complex platform in our India. So actually, I was there around 4 to 5 months doing the testing. So I was into ONGC R&D. So like we have recovered the sample at the depth beyond the Jurassic period. So I'll be showing the photos of that too. So in that, if you see, if you can clearly see beyond the 350 million year ago, the shell and small creature, and it got this all this type of rocks, it got sedimented there. So if you see any presence of the shell, bone, teeth of any animals or any the small creatures, so definitely you can see that okay, the calcium pileups are there into that, and definitely you can declare that rock as an organic rock. So this is on the earth surface, okay, on the earth surface. But when we go drilling, the beneath the earth surface to recover, the oil and gas. Our objective is to, to recover the oil and gas. So here, what happens? The structure remains the same when we go below. Okay. So here you can see so many type of rock layer. So like the first upper part, it looks like the fertile soil and the moderate soil. Then the compaction increases, and here if you come so you can see my the mouse cursor also, no, on the screen. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here so this layer, it has been more compacted, and due to the aging it has transformed into the rock. So the same layer will be there, but first it will be soil, and deeper due to the depositional and burial continuously, the rock formation happens. So deeper you go, the compaction increase. Okay, so this is why we have to print. And even oil and gas, in this only the oil and gas will be stored here and there, and once you drill properly, automatically it will come to the borehole. So this is the concept. So like there are so many type of sedimentary rock. So like we use the standards of Baker Hughes and Schlumberger and Halliburton only, because their scales only we use to predict everything. Even ONGC people, we use the Baker Hughes only. So like whenever you take any sedimentary rock, okay, so first thing is you have to check what are the material present in that. For example, like here the grains are bigger size. Okay, so likewise some rocks will be having the smaller grain. Okay, so as per checking, then only you can you have to write the the description you have to write. So for example, if the granular size are bigger, then you will be writing very coarse sand, which will be around 2 to 1 millimeter. You can scale it with your, you can use the normal scale also for that. And again, the coarse sand, it will be 1 to half millimeter. So likewise, there are scale. So with this meter, and with this classification method, we will be taking the rock sample, that is called a core sample, which we recover from the the well bore. So we will be testing all these things. So I'll be showing why coring is done and what is coring also. I'll show that too. So now is a metamorphic rock. So like metamorphic rock also, it is a very unstable rock, and it has been formed due to, it leads to the when it comes to the contact with very high temperature and pressure, and the metamorphic rock forms. Okay, so there is a rock cycle also. In the end, we'll be seeing from where it start and how it start. Better I'll show now itself. Yeah. So I think most of the people you might have seen in your schooling studies the rock cycle. Okay. So here what happens? For example, today's soil, the today's at present soil, 2020s, whatever the soil you see today's generation, it will gradually go down continuously. Okay. So when it comes 3021, 4021, 5021. Okay. When the year comes like that, these layers, gradually it will go down and down and down. And most of the area, our earth crust, when you see the structure of earth, you have a core, and you have a crust, you have a molten lava layers here and there. So whenever the burial material comes to the contact to molten magma, So it get melted, the rock and soil get melted, and suddenly sometimes it will come through the volcanic eruption outside. If suddenly it will come to outside, and due to rapid cooling and everything, the rock layers, it will become a crystal. Okay, so this is how even the most deeper the material it comes outside, it sometimes it form a diamond. Okay, so likewise the areas like the South African Kimberley, so these areas, they have diamonds because there is a volcanic eruption were there before. Okay, so like if the rock, the sedimentary rock, and sometimes there is a second type. Suppose this is one, and sometimes in the mountain you can see whenever it rains continuously, due to the erosion and everything, all the soil, it comes down to the low lying areas. Okay, from the low lying areas again it will go to the sea. So for example, let us take Mumbai. So in Mumbai also, like near New Mumbai there are so many mountains. Okay, so in the mountains what will happen, there will be heavy rain, and this it will drag all the soil and mud, and it will enter into the sewage, and alternately it will come to the sea. Okay, so once it will come to the sea, the transport and deposition process happens, and it will get sedimented. And once it gets sedimented in the the surface, it will create a compaction and cementation. So like I showed you one photo. So it will mixed up, and it will get compact, so soil will become a rock alternately. So once this sedimentary rock, so at that time this material all, it will be called as a sedimentary rocks. Okay, so once the sedimentary rock reaches down, and it will go deeper and deeper, then due to high pressure and temperature below the earth surface, it will form a metamorphic rock. Okay, so once a metamorphic rock, again it will go into the magma. It will, it will release molten lavas into the earth surface, and due to crystallization of the magma, the igneous rock birth take place. So this is how the rock cycle continuously takes. So there are three cycles now. See, one possibility is like sedimentary rock directly it will come up. That is one possibility. Sometimes sedimentary rock, it will due to it will come to the contact with the high temperature and pressure. It will become a metamorphic rock. And the third is maybe the metamorphic rock also may come up. Okay, that is one possibility. If not, again it will get connect with the magma from the molten crust, and this cycle will continuous happen. So like generally the rock cycle happens like this only. Point number one, the molten lava, it comes out. If it comes out rapidly, it will become a crystal. Okay, maybe the diamond, and sometimes any crystal from marble, granite, and all. So if it leads again a compaction will happen, and this compaction, it will lead into, again it will break someday, so it will become powder form, and again it will become a soil. It will become it can found in the mountain areas also, on the top areas, this metamorphic rock. So this metamorphic rock, again it will break, and vegetation will happen, some plants, animals will die on that, it will become organic. And due to any erosion also, it may come here and there. So after all this process, it will become a sedimentary rock. Okay, so here the sixth is the sedimentary rock. So once this sedimentary rock, again it go deeper down, again it will form a metamorphic rock. So once this metamorphic rock is done, again on the eighth, it may become a igneous rock, or maybe it may be, it will still remain the metamorphic, and it will get connected with the molten lava. Again it will get melt up. So this is how today whatever the rocks you see on the earth surface, again it will go down, and again it will come. So this is the rock cycle. So where our oil and gas lie, because the metamorphic rock and the igneous rock, they don't have proper porosity and permeability, and we cannot drill anything on that rock and get the oil, because the oil and gas are stored in the sedimentary basins, because sedimentary basins are the semi rocks. Okay, they will be having the porosity and the permeability. That is what, there will be having the small pores and the holes in the rock to accommodate the oil and the gas. Okay, so that is why we target the sedimentary rock. So like there are some type of metamorphic rock, like the Genesis rock, the slate, quartzite, schist, marble, and the phyllite. Okay, so these are the some type of rocks, and there is a booklet for this. I'll be sharing with you too. the textures and how it forms and the geological time scale too. So it will, usually you can contact me whenever you have any doubt on this. Definitely, I'll assist you because this studying on the rock, itself for us it took years and years. Okay, so like I'll be sharing you the details for this. So these are the simplification way with the the easy way you can predict. So the book knowledge is like if you want to become the expert in the geology or geophysics, or if you want to want to become a major expert on this on the subsurface one. So this part will be very helpful to understand. So like this is a metamorphic now. Um, so like today what we are going to do, we'll be testing a sample from the west coast of India, okay, western offshore of India, okay. So from that we have recovered some samples, some around around 3,600 meters, okay, so around that depth from the earth sea surface, okay, sorry, so from the seabed, around 3,600 meters, like 3.6 kilometer, we have taken that sample around 9 meters. So before we go into that one image, I have to show 1 second.
Hello, excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
So 3,600 is the depth or it is the distance from the sea?
depth from the seabed downwards.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. 1 second.
Hello, excuse me, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Sir, I have a request.
Yeah.
So please allow us to ask questions after the topic is complete. So that
Okay, okay.
so
Actually,
that
today, like yesterday around, we closed the session around 8:40 only. So I cleared all the doubts and I closed the session. Uh, yeah. So like you can
actually,
note,
sir,
yeah, like you can note it down because what will happen, if I keep on answering, it will take around 8 o'clock. Then again, we cannot enter into the topic also. So because today is my final day, and again on the last day, I have to take the offshore management too. So you can note it down the question on the sideway, and also you can drop a question, on the chat box, so that again I will show during the question and answer session. I'll show the PPT, and if you have any doubts, we can clear up that. Okay.
okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So like, so what is core and the coring? Okay. So like, during the drilling, our scope is like we have to drill the bore well, and we have to reach to the targeted zone, which where the orders might be given from the companies to the drilling contractor. So drilling contractor will be having the plot like point A, point B, point C. So So there are so that in the one well there will be so many pay zones available. So in the pay zones, you know, they have to recover all the oil and gas. So it is not like they will start the drilling and they will reach to the 4,000 or 5,000 depth, and from that they will recover all the oil and gas. It's not like that. For example, if they start the drilling, first pay zone will be appearing some around 1,200 meter. Okay, so in that they have to form the production casing, and they will recover that oil, and again in the same bore well they will doing the overlapping drilling. So once again they will go for the drilling, again at some point they will stop. So again there will be some the pay zone, the oil and gas will be producing. So around it will be, you can let us assume randomly, like first point was 1,200 meter depth, second point is like 2,200 meter depth, and third point will be 3,200 meter depth. So likewise, so many pay zones will be continuously appearing. Okay, so because that estimation and evaluation which were given by the seismic data and other thing, that is just a prediction. Okay, but the major thing we don't know at what level and what depth and how it is. And also it is an years and years long process. It will take so much of time, and it will be continuously going back to back. So around maybe around 6,000, 7,000 meter also you might be continuing doing. Sometimes what happen, if you cross 3,000, 4,000 also, you will be not finding the oil. Okay, so what will happen, what are the advancement like well logging, and what are the data which have advanced data which have, it will get, ultimately it will get failed up. Okay, so to get the proper strategy, and what is the well, how the well looks like. So to get the 100% confirmation of the the well structure and the what deposit is it is, so we have to recover the sample. So what we do, we initiate a step called coring. Okay, so in that coring, what we'll be doing, yeah, so these are the type of drilling bits. So you can see here the drill bits. So this top first three drill bits you use for the drilling. Okay, so drilling and cutting the rocks and all. But what you will do, if you are going for the coring processes, so what you have to do, you have to remove this drill bit from the down. Okay, so you have to trip out. Once you trip out, you will remove all this drilling bit and you will fix the core bit. Okay, drill bit is different, core bit is different. Okay, so as per the compaction of the rock sample and everything, you will be using PDC core bit or roller core bit, or the natural diamond core bit. So it is as per the material which is located down. Okay, so this will also, because how we will predict this thing, because during drilling, there is a circulation system. So what are the cuttings available and the powders come up, in the site we have the geologists and everything, they used to do the testing of that. So once they do the testing of that, they'll be knowing what type of rock is coming down. So even though if we are not able to find the oil and gas, we go for the the core study for understanding the this thing. So coring takes the sediment or the rock sample by drilling, and it will return to the earth surface. So standard core samples are 9.5, and whereas in ONGC, what we do, we recover 9 meter of core sample, and whereas like Schlumberger and that company and all international company, they recover 11 meters of core sample. Okay, so the step one will, we will run down the core bit down, and we will start the core planning. Okay, so here what we will do, we will drop the, there are some procedure same like the casing and all, casing cementing and all. We will be recovering 9 meter, we will cut a 9 meter of sample down the hole, and we will be collecting to the earth surface. So once this comes up, the major thing is, we have to very carefully, very specifically, you have to handle the material very carefully, like you have to remove the core sample out of the barrel. There will be a round barrel like a pipe. From the pipe, you have to remove those things. So once you remove outside, the third point is like, it will be a 9 meter core. You cannot take the 9 meter core through the container or truck to the laboratories. So what you will do, there are core boxes, core box or core barrel we call technically. So what we do, this 9 meter we cut into 9 pieces. So per sample will be around 1 meter usually. Okay. So in some other companies they cut for 1.5 meter. So we have to make it into a different section. Okay. So before we put into any box, like for example 9 meter core, if you cut into first you will cut 1 meter. So this 1 meter you have to mark it as a point A, point B, like which is the top side, which is the bottom side. So you have to mark carefully, and you have to paint on the the core barrel box also, and you have to fix it up. Then only you can send it to the laboratory. So once you go to the lab and you will put, then the the scientists and the analyzers and our team, the entire team will come there. They will test the entire core sample. So our sample, our project is also like we will be checking what are the core samples now and how we will do the testing and all. So this is just um, yeah. So this is a coring method where we do the coring. But now before we go into coring, we have to see some crucial basics here. So like we have to see know at what basin we are striking the deposit and everything. So now we have to check petroliferous sedimentary basin. So like our basin, as we seen, like total India's basin is around 1.79 million square kilometer. So far there are 26 basin around the India. So like we will be extracting all the oil and gas from the basins of the sedimentary basin only, not other basins. So significantly, for last few years, which we are doing back to back the exploration. So these are the categories which we have. So the in the India map, the pink area, the pink color area, it is a category one basin. So like as we said, it is a proven commercial basins. So where India's all the commercial production till today, which we recover the oil and gas and which we use for the daily usage, it is all the pink color area. So in these pink color areas only we are extracting the oil and gas, and remaining the category 2 basins. So in the category 2 basins, like the red color basins, so here we predict like they can prove they have the proven productivity, proven the prospectivity. So there will be the oil and gas, but some due to some limitations and everything, not full exploration are done there. So likewise, there are category 1, category 2, category 3. So yesterday, as we showed the categories of the oil and gas basins. So also there is a deep sea basin. Okay, so like in the east coast of the coast of Kakinada, we have around 15 nautical miles in the sea. We have the oil deposit, gas deposit, and again the future resource, the gas hydrate, which the Japanese government and the Indian government are doing the research. So this will be the future resource. So likewise, there are so many type of category basins where we used to recover the oil and gas till today, and other basins like pre-Cambrian, tectonized. So these basins, they have a tectonic border, or maybe in the Cambrian period it has been deposited. But thing is, the complexity is very high, and again the investment cost is very high, because the formation in that basins, the rocks are very tight. Okay, so each and everything you have to use specialized, and again you have to use high horsepower rig. So when other basin contains the oil, we will not go for the the bigger one. So what are the basins which available easier to extract out? We used to target that only, and even government do the lease for that basins only nowadays. So like there are as you seen, there are four type of categories. Like category 1 is established commercial oil and gas production. So in the pink color, as we see, all those areas, the pink areas. So these areas are called category 1, which are already commercially producing back to back. So here only all our oil and gas extractions are going on. Category 2, known hydrocarbon accumulation, but yet to put on the commercial production. Okay. So the category 2, the red color, there are hydrocarbon accumulations, that is there, but they have not yet put for the commercial production, but soon maybe the company might be, the government might be announcing soon, because yet we have to recover all the oil and gas from the category 1. So that is why category 2 is kept on hold, and category 3 considered to be geologically prospective with some hydrocarbon indication. So even our India's geologist team, because the Directorate General of Hydrocarbon (DGH), Ministry of Petroleum, then again the ONGC, and the Geologic Survey of the India. So all these chambers and government bodies, they have immense high-graded scientist officers, where they do the India's, they go to the geological site, they do the rock sample testing, they drill some holes and they get some rock sample outside, and they take that for the further study in the laboratories, and there might be some indication. Sometimes the rocks might be containing the oil and etc. So these areas, it is geologically prospective, but maybe in the future, if you don't have, in future it may be confirm happen, because if category 1 and 2 will get depleted after maybe 20 to 25 years, so we'll be entering into the category 3 basin. So once the category 3 is there, then again the category 4, uncertain potential but prospective by analogy with similar basins in the world. So like our India has been not hit to the category 4, but the regions like the USA, where the advancement is very high, already they have strike the basins in all the categories of their world. But only our India, we are going step by step process, and these are the major basin categorization of our India. So now the major thing is, now we are going for the offshore, like we will be recovering the samples from the Mumbai offshore basin. So in the Bombay offshore basin, we will be selecting some areas. So in the Bombay offshore basin, there are some areas like Mumbai offshore, Hiram basin are there, Ratnagiri block is there, and again there is a continental shelf margin basin is there. So likewise in the offshore, in the western offshore, there are so many type of basins are there. In one basin there will be so many type of category basins. Okay, so here they'll be testing all in this basin. Actually the first commercial production back to back going on, so there is no there is no need to worry about whether it will produce or not. But sometimes what happen, when we go for the drilling and all, it properly don't get the oil and gas, but the indications which we seen 10 years back or maybe 5 years back, in that it might be indicated that oil is there. But when we do the core analysis, when we recover the sample, we will be knowing whether the porosity, permeability are appearing or not. So it is a final method to predict the well, because the technology cannot provide the entire detail, but the physical method can provide the entire detail. So that is why we do the core analysis.
Sir, what is this WOB?
Western offshore basin.
Okay, sir.
So our history, our entire world, they used to use this standard geological time scale. So there are four major categories like Cenozoic, Mesozoic, Paleozoic, and Precambrian. Okay, so mostly we till today, we take all the oil and gas mostly from the this Miocene era. Okay, Miocene, Oligocene, and Eocene and Paleocene. So in this area only we used to extract the oil and gas. We have to check the areas also. For predicting everything, because the scientists and everyone, they have predicted each and every samples and their depth and everything. So as per the the radiocarbon dating, and for so many technologies are there to predict the age of the rock. So they have predicted and the rock sample. So here, whenever we dig anything, we have to recover the sample. We have to check in what era it is there, and mostly for each and every era, for example, there will be this work is not for us, but it is for a knowledge. Like the geologists will do the sampling and everything, and they will mark the boxes that from which depth and which era it has came. For example, our rock sample mostly it is from Paleocene, Miocene. So some rock samples are from Paleocene, means they will mark the box as 1666 million year ago. Okay, so they will write only this technical word, maybe the Paleocene or Jurassic, late Jurassic, middle Jurassic, or earlier Jurassic. So these are the terms they will put in the box. So we should check with the graph, sorry, with this chart we have to check, and we have to see which year it comes. So like in the Paleocene, it end with 66. So our rock sample, it will be around 66 million year ago. So sometimes they might have marked as a Jurassic. So if it is a Jurassic, mean we have to check like, okay, our rock sample will be around 201 million year old. So the geologist will do all the testing, and they will pass the box with the sample and everything to us, and we have to predict those things. So like our team, there are so many patterns. Today we will be checking for few patterns only. So we have to learn all these symbols and everything. So based upon this, we will be checking that like what type of rocks are there and how it is there. So like you have to hold the rock in your hand, and you have to check what type of rock particles are there, what is the bedding, what are the patterns looking like. So in this chart, we have the entire type of rocks and everything. What are their symbols and how it look like. So I'll send you this one copy too. So these two things mostly it does by the geologist. So we don't have any job on that. But for the sake of knowledge and understanding, we should know what is this lithological patterns. So using this only, we can further get some knowledge on this. And there are some few photos like I'll show up maybe in the PPT might be there. One second. So these are some lab photos of our ONGC lab. So like these are the rocks which was tested by me at the lab. This is a 1 meter sample. So we'll be putting in this galvanized sheet boxes. We'll be putting the core samples in the this thing, and like in order way, in the chronological order, we'll be putting in the slab. Depth so and so. Like for example, 3001 to 3000 3200 we'll be marking, and again from 200 to 300 we'll be marking. So like with the centimeter and meters we have to mark, and we have to put the box into the proper order, top wise, bottom wise. So these are some type of rocks, like it is a broken fragment. So each probably there are so many type of thousands of rocks, but in our oil and gas and in the sedimentary, we'll be just encountering with few rocks like limestone, and shale rock, sandstone, and like siltstone. So we'll be encountering and everything. We'll be learning on probably on this type of rocks only. So like in upcoming PPT, we'll be seeing the sedimentary basins too. These are some rock samples where we'll be doing the testing. Okay. Some of the Jurassic materials, the bones and everything we recovered in the places. So likewise, this is how the shelf in the lab we used to arrange the this thing, the racks and all. So around our laboratory, they have 10,000 type of rock samples and the core samples. So more than 10,000 kilometers we have, arranged the boxes. Okay, so it can totally around the globe you can keep on keeping. So that much of core samples are available in the lab. So continuously we do keep on testing on the rock samples. So we have to check the samples and structure and everything. So today we will be mostly learning now how to predict this rock sample and how it look like. So this is a hydrocarbon bearing rock. So here, this is the porosity and the permeability. So in the rocks, if you see any holes like this, you have to declare that lock that it has a good porosity, it has good permeability. So in these small rocks only the oil and gas will be trapped. So likewise, by seeing the rocks only, we'll be knowing whether it contains oil or gas or any traces of oil and gas are available. So with that only we can predict, the oil is there or not. So likewise, during our well, the first study, what we will be doing, the first thing we have to do is we have to place a rock, and here you can see one rock we have taken, like I have written well number from BH, from Bombay High 73 I have taken this, and conventional core slash hash 2. So in the box it has been written. So as it is, we have to write the coding because it has been marked by the geology. Okay, so sample type we have to see, write as a CC2. Okay, then we have to check the sample depth. So sample depth interval is around 1860 to 1869 meter. Okay, and also in the box, sometimes what happened, our major agenda for the coring is to recover the 9 meter exact sample. So around it will take, likely 100% recovery has to be done. Sometimes it will be 95, sometimes 90, because some rock sample again it will fall into the well bore, or sometimes fragment will be broken down during the cutting into the sections. So this is how the recovery is, very hard, and also we have to mention how much recovery is done. And there will be in the 9 meter sample, it will be not, exactly it will be in a single piece. It might be into the 9 meter sample, it might be into 90 piece, 100 piece, maybe 300 pieces also. So we have to mark which segment we are testing, like I have written like 204. And also we have to write a container number. Okay, so in the container number they have marked like 2410. Okay, so this is, not a date, but they have marked as a container number. And next is this rock we have to write a color. So this is the very foremost thing. First we have to predict this thing only. So we can see the three colors in the rock, the crystalline colors are there, a white color are present, gray is there, dark black is there. So we have to write the major thing, so like white, gray and black. So how does this rock look? So for example, this is a like a compact rock. Okay, so whereas the sedimentary rock mostly, it might have been broken into the fragments. So we have to check whether it is, so this rock mostly look like a metamorphic, because mostly the crystallines are there, and also some other features are there. So possibly it is, neither a sedimentary nor a metamorphic, so it is a combined model. So likewise, once we see the rock sample and everything, we will be writing like that. So here we come into this stratigraphy. Okay, stratigraphy. Yeah. So before we enter into core analysis, this is the final thing, I guess, the environmental patterns in the past. What is the history for that? We have to trace out. Then only we can go into the core analysis. So whenever we go into the drilling part or anything, before going into core analysis, we have to find out how it got deposited. why the shape of the rocks are different, and why so many type of colors and crystals are present in that, and how it got deposited. So like the sedimentary environment is very very important for a reservoir engineers and a petroleum engineer. Then only they can predict what type of deposit it is. So like here we'll be checking a geographical setting where sediment is accumulating. So this areas is called as sedimentary environment. So this determines the nature of sediments that accumulate grain size, grain shape, texture, color, etc. Okay. So here let us see this image. So like, for example, let us assume this area as a Mumbai offshore basin now. Okay, so this is the west coast of India. So here what happens, as we said, from previous till today, all the rivers and everything, it starts flowing from the mountain, and it gets deposited in the river bed. Okay, so our sea floor, it will look like this only. So what are the material it get nearby the the facing shore? So this area we declare as a deltaic area. Okay, so why we call delta area? Again, there are some small island like type and land mass here there. So in that, if there is a pure vegetation, if any grasses you see, or if you see any plant on that the layers of the land, then you have to declare that land, it is a deltaic area, because there is a organic vegetation. So when there is a organic vegetation, the the fertility and everything, it is very very good. The soil condition is very very good. If there is no grasses or no trees or anything, then it will be something kind of a metamorphic rock or igneous rock, or sometimes you can call as a chemical rock. Only in these three type of rock, there will be no vegetation and no grasses or no plants grown up there. So like, these are some areas you have to understand. There is a river channel. Okay, so the river, is the two land area connected by it, and it flows to the you mean the sea. So these areas you will be calling as a river channel. And again, organic rich mud. So in the deltaic area, if the grasses and the plants, as I said, if it is high, then that mud, you can see that mud, like it will be like more like, it will be like a organic soil. Okay, so where the plantation and vegetation will be easily grown. So and all after that, in the front line, if you go deeper, you should do the scuba diving and all. Once you do the scuba diving and if you go into the sea floor, you'll be finding the mouth of the river. Okay, so like it will be like a flowing direction from A point to B point, it will be there. So like these areas, it will be having a sand and silt. Okay, so maybe a salt stone will be also there, sandstone will be there, siltstone will be there. So this type of the flow will be there totally. So like here, there are type of sedimentary environments. So like from now 3D view, we have seen the complex depositional setting at the sea level. And again, there are some areas like on the top view we have to check now. So like in West Bengal, where the Ganga River and everything comes and it get deposited. So that area is called delta. And again, in the south, the Tamil Nadu, there is an area. So that area also, in the east coast, we called as a delta area. And again, in the west coast, also in the Mumbai, we called as a delta area. So this delta area, vegetation is high. Only this area is capable to produce oil and gas, because from the past till today, as we again say, that the river direction remains the same, and all the organic, the burial, deposition, and everything happened in this area only. And it led to the formation of heat and pressure, and converted the kerosene peat into the oil and gas distinct. So these are the standard sedimentary deposits. So each and everything, it is so. And why we are studying this, that is very very important, because for example, if you recover any rock sample, the rock sample, there will be so many marking. Maybe some designs will be there, sometimes some texture will be there, some changes, and some marking will be there on the rock. So by seeing that rock markings, we have to predict with this map, like this marking shows like this design shows like this, and this contain xyz particles in this. So in which deposited, it got deposited. Okay, so if in this area it got deposited, it will be a pure organic rocks. Okay, so where the organic and conversion of oil and gas will be 90% probability will be there. And whereas if you go for other region, so tidal fan or this area, sandstone, here the yellow color is like a sand. Okay, where the seashore and everything is there, like beaches are there, like Mumbai we have a Juhu beach and all. So that soil and all and this sand and all, they get mixed up. There will be zero vegetation. But when we dig, we'll be finding layer by layer. Like there will be sandstone, coal, then again there will be siltstone, and so many layers of limestone. So continuously back to back, so many type of the layers will be coming out. So we have tested out which layer it is and how layer it is and from which direction the river has been flown and whether it was a wave or there. So all these things using these patterns only you can find out. So like there is a shoreline. For example, this image you have to carefully see. When you go in Mumbai, I think most of the people you might have visited Alibag. Okay. So in the sea, what happened? I think during the daytime, during the low tide, the sea waters go back, the level will go down, and you can walk on the basin. So these basins will be having these ripple marks. Okay, so these ripple marks are formed due to the tidal waves. Okay, so this, if it get deposited and we recover after 300 million years, okay, this ripple mark in the in the rock, it will remain the same. So using all these patterns and everything, so we have to learn the nature pattern first. The major agenda of learning the sedimentary basins and the deposit is to learn the patterns. Okay, so here the shoreline and lagoons and the delta. Okay, so like this is a tidal flat. Okay, and this is a lagoon. So like the river water here, it has gushed out and it has been, the 360 area, it has been covered by the land. Okay, so it is nearby the seawater body. So this area, it is called as a lagoons. And again this area, so like you can find agriculture land here, and all the fertile soils and everything get deposited here, and this become a deltaic area. So here the soil will be highly organic here. So these patterns you have to remember during core analysis. By testing the rock sample, we require this pattern. So likewise, we have seen that rock sample, the rock cycle, how it forms and everything. So this is how it is total, the main depositional environments. This is the final diagram where it looks properly. So like, for example, let us take North India, Northeastern. So like in the Himalayan region and other region, they have a glacier, the ice, the snow. So what will happen from the snow region, it will get melt down and it will come down to the earth surface, to the lower level. So after the mountain level to ground level, it will come, and from ground level it will cross many cities. Okay, so it will go and it will touch many cities, many forests, many vegetation area. Then it will finally touch into the river bed. The river bed will be touching to the seabed. Okay, so here what happened, it has been traveled kilometers and kilometers. So like this ice particle got melted down into the water, and this water, it started bringing all the materials from top. So from top, what will happen in Himalayas? They'll be having some XYZ type of rocks, and it will be carrying by this water. Again, it will enter into the city areas, urban areas, village areas, and again it will touching into the some river bed. So once it's touched to this river bed, it will get mixed up with that. So once it get mixed up with that, it will for the fertile soil will be deposited on the sea floor, and this area we declare as a deltaic. And again, deeper we go into the sea, the first bend is there into the deeper sea. So this cut we called as a continental margin. Again, there is a slope to the deep sea. So we call this area as a slope. So we have to check like the major thing what we have to remember in this diagram is like, one is alluvial soil, second is glacial from where it flows, and again it will come to the fertility, and from fertile it will go to the deltaic. Okay, so from deltaic it will come to the shelf area, and from shelf it will further go deeper into the continental margin. From continental margin there will be a deeper break. Again there will be a slope, and this area will be a deeper sea and ocean. So we have to remember few areas like alloying like this area you can call it as deserts, like in Saudi, Rajasthan and all. They have the desert, and the continuous there will be a sand dust and sandstorm. So they like these layers form in the desert. When we most of the people, you might have seen the National Geographical Channel Discovery and all. So in that you might have seen the desert areas. They have the ripple marks. So this marks is called a ripple marks. Okay, and also in water the ripple marks are there. So this is the main schematic diagram for the main depositional environment. So like there is other depositional environment also. Just hold 1 second. I'm getting one call. 1 second. Yeah, hello. The voice audible? Hello.
Yes, sir. Voice is audible.
Yeah. So like when we see into this desert area, so this alluvial environment will be there. So here what will happen? The continuous there will be a wind blow in this arid desert environment. So what will happen due to the wind blow, and it will this layer will be undisturbed. Okay, so the desert areas, due to large sand dunes and everything, this layers are called a ripple marks. These patterns which you see here is called as a ripple marks. So what will happen when further it will get deposited underground? If you go there again, you can see this ripple mark. Now it is on the surface, that is why it is a sand ripple mark. But when you recover the samples in the earth surface, the beneath the earth surface, this ripple mark will be solidified and compacted. So like if you hold in the hand, you can clearly see the ripple mark, but it at the by the time it will be looking like rock, a type of rock. So these patterns and depositional environments are less. So whenever you recover any core sample below the earth surface, maybe 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers below the earth, and it might be deposited nearby the Jurassic era, doesn't matter. Depositional patterns remain the same always. from the past history till present today. So using this, learning all these depositional patterns and everything, you'll be knowing what exactly it look like. So that is why we have to, before we enter into core, because yet we have not started the project today. The firstly we have to enter into that. So these are the patterns which will look like. And again, glaciers. Glaciers are the most effective erosional agent on the earth. Whenever we see the rivers and everything, but most of the people, you might have visited the northeastern area of the India, the Himalayan region and everything. So if you go to the harder area, the worst area, the nearby localities, if you ask to that people, they know the exact, the effect of this glacial erosion. Okay, so whenever we live in Mumbai, during the Mumbai we have now it is rainy season going on there. So many times we have heated by the heavy rains and flood has been came into 2004, 5 and everything. So like this. So in that area we have that problem. Again, if you go to the Indonesian land, you have a tectonic border there. Again, you have an earthquake problem there. So some areas they have the sea level will rise high sometimes, and so many areas. So as per the geographical and everything, the composition and the disturbance and the land movements remain different and different. So glacial, it is the most effective agent on the earth, because from the top it just drag everything, the soil, rock, mud, dust, etc., and dozens of rocks beneath it. It will bring down to the lower surface. From lower surface it will come to the river. This is how the depositional continuously back to back happen. So like what happens, for example, like from the top surface, it will come through so many areas, mountains, river, etc., etc. And again, it will have a series of connection here and there, and so it might this glaciers, it will be traveling, more than 2,000 kilometers, 3,000 kilometers, 4,000 kilometers, and it will be get finally deposited in the river, sorry, in the sea. So this area we call as a delta. So from this area only the offshore oil and gas and the prospective oil and gas area gets started. So like in real, this is a very clean image where you can understand how this deposition happens. So in our you might have in the schooling you might have studied that alluvial soil is a fertile soil. So alluvial soil are deposited by the stream of water, and it get deposited on the bed mass, on the river bed and in the sea bed. So this area, sorry, so this area they form alluvial fan. So this pattern also remains the same when it we discover anything. And also here also the river beds are there. So in this area also river get flows and everything, the fan used to form, and it get deposited somewhere in the river. So all this vegetation, animals, and etc., etc., it comes and deposited, and we extract the oil and gas here. So like in the cross, now let us see from the side view now. We have seen the 360 view, and from the eagle's view, we have bird view. You have seen from the top, and again you have seen the the facing one, the 3D view. We have seen the sea floor. Now it is a time we have to see from the sideways. Okay, to understand well better now. So for example, yeah, from the land, first it will come to some area. Okay, the first area, if you recover the sample, there is no water bodies here. So if you recover any sample here, you will be getting a cold, because what will happen? The trees, grasses, and all, it will get deposited here itself, and it will go down. And some of the eroded particles only it will further go. So this area again it is called the flood plain. So this flood plain, due to flood and everything, it comes and deposited here. And this area, if you test, it will you will declare this area as a deltaic region. And further, if you go into this, you will be finding the beach area. So many people, you might have visited the beach in the cities like Mumbai, Visakhapatnam, Chennai, Cochin, and all. So you have visited so many beach area. So this beach area, they have the the sand. Okay, so this sand area is called as a sand and slit facies. So in that, you will be having the shell particles and some, the dried crab, etc., etc. So all these particles you can find. So again, further, if you go deeper, you will be finding a medium range soil, which is called. It will be neither, hard, or neither it will be complex. Also, it will be like a brittle type. If you take a shale rock in your hand, and it can be break easily. So that type of rock layer first it forms. This area is called the shale faces. And once all the organic deposited, because see, here it will be something like 100% organic deposition done. And then another is like here it will be 80%, then continued by 50%, then 40%, and finally in the, in the sea level, deeper if you go, you will be finding the carbonate faces. So mostly today which we discover the oil and gas in the west coast, mostly we, face the like a limestone. So the major oil and gas production of India is dependent on the limestone basin. So the limestone basin also now it is getting converted into some crystalline form. So I'll show you some original photos of the sample which I have in the home, and also in the group also I'll share the photos of the, the core sample. So this is how the depositional in the shallow marine setting happen. Okay. So offshore it is something different. The deeper offshore it is something different because like the entire land mass or something might have, migrated from one place to another. And once we find the deeper oceans, the oil and gas blocks, their geological settings and everything is very very hard and very very complex to predict, because sea itself around the depth is around 4,000 meter. Again from the sea bed to the bottom, again we have to drill another, the 5,000 meters. So the prediction of these samples and everything, it is bit different in other area. So in the land and in shallow marine setting, you can predict the sedimentary phases. So like here comes, the sedimentary phases. So in the sedimentary phases, like on the top, you can see the limestone. So this is in the real time, it looks like this only whenever we go into the western offshore or any other basin. So the settings will be remain the same. Okay. So like first limestone sedimentary basin is coming, and after few composite sedimentary basin is coming. So composite means it will be a three layers or four layers or five layers combined rock will be there. Okay. Then again there is a sandstone basin. Again there is a shale stone basin, and again here a composite layer. So this is how, the continuous back to back it is coming. And see the time scale also it is getting increased. So when you see the Paleozoic, now total million year is minimum is 252 million year ago, and even today we dig in the Paleozoic era also, and maximum is 541 million year ago. So this is how the our mother nature is very very, complex to predict at what space and from where it is located. So this is why the patterns, the depositional setting, the depositional environment, structure, color, shape, all these things we have to take into the consideration. And also I'll teach you how to do the lithofication of these samples. So some features. Now we will quickly go through the features of this depositional environments. So like there is a desert process. So like there are n number of sand dunes. Okay, so this is a desert process. And see, you might have crossed, from Mumbai to Pune. You might have traveled in the cars and all. You might have seen so many mountains will be coming on to the side. So in the two sides, you can see so many, the rock samples and everything. Their patterns will be different. So you have to see where the crack is available, where the crack is not there, how it got deposited, why the designs here is like is eventually, and the second layer is, it is totally it is interrupted. So you have to check all this pattern, because something might have disturbed this pattern and something got caused to this. So this is why we have to understand everything. So now there are so many type of few patterns are there. So now let us see the photos of that quickly. So like as we seen here, the alluvial fans, where, the deposition from glacier to, the riverbed or seabed comes down. So this area is deltaic area, and there is a lake area. So this lake area also will be entirely different. Okay, like ephemeral lakes, and it will be like the carbonate deposit will be there. Sometimes the chemical deposition will be there, so it will be entirely different. And sometimes there will be a river process. So in the river, because rivers are there everywhere, so this river carry all the organic matters and everything, and it will create its own pattern. So sometimes this pattern also, nowadays when you see some rocks, it might be having white color like this pattern and everything. So all this due to this patterns only it happened. So these materials it get deposited, and here the sample will be different. The rock or the water flowing area, the sample will be different. Property will be different. So these get deposit as it is underground, and when we recover, we used to check all this pattern. Even the river flow patterns we can see. For example, years of years we listen the news that there is a water pattern on the Mars planet. NASA scientist has discovered. Again, people have discovered water pattern in Moon. So that are real, because in the past there were water patterns. There might be a water flown there. So that is why there is a pattern, because none of the people visited their area. Either it should be like a air blown area, or it should be a water blown area. So for for both the air and water, it will be different patterns will be forming. So using this only we can justify whether which pattern and which deposition setting it has been come. So like again here, braided streams are characterized by the mid-channel bars. You can think of a bar as a variety of current ripple. Okay, so here this segment also remains the same, like ripple marks are shown in the sand dunes and other photos. So this is very important, because during lithofication we have to check that. And again, mindering streams. So mindering streams means like it will be flowing through various agriculture land, and this pattern of flow will be extremely curved and zigzag continuously, and it will lead to the the sea surface and the river beds. And again there is a channel. So always this pattern of channels are preserved. Whenever you go there, this pattern of river direction and everything is always preserved, and till today no one has disturbed the river patterns. The river flow till today in history we have never seen that someone has changed the river direction. It is a natural process. So these areas and everything, the rocks and everything, this soil and the river banks, it will contain a very crucial evidence of history. Through this history only we can enter into our core analysis. So like we have to check the pattern. So here this is the evidence of glacier. Okay, so like for example, this glacier has been passed away through this rock, so that is why this dragged pattern has been came straightly. Okay, so for this there is a separate identification book, how to identify the patterns. So I'll share the document with you. Around there are 100 of patterns. So 100 patterns we have to learn what design it is there and how it is there, and with the sample. And even you can do one activity like you can collect some different type of major rock sample nearby your surrounding, and you can clean it up with the water, and with that pattern you can check the patterns, what are the fragments you can see, and what type of rock it is there, and what are the mineral it is present. You can do that testing through that. So like this area you can see, like so many people might have seen in their agriculture land and all. So if the water, if the glacier passed, and if it passes through any fertile soil area, it will get deposited. It is, we have zoomed that image, and we have taken this photo, but it is very small portion, just for example. So this is how the feature of real deltaic area in the Mumbai offshore or in the eastern offshore areas looks like. So here the see, you can see this area, it is covered by pure organic mud. It look like a mud, and further it is look like a powder, the form. It's look like a siltstone. Okay, so further and deeper it go, it will be like a swamped organic materials are deposited there. So this is how the real deltaic area looks like, the bigger picture. So these are some, the satellite images of the deltaic area. So this deltaic area, it forms due to the channel of rivers, dumps it load on the river bank, on the sea bank. Okay, so these banks, these sediments always being added on the delta front. So this delta front, they will be having a huge vegetation and capability of producing oil and gas. And again, there is another fragment here, beaches and barrier island. So these areas you might have seen in in Mumbai and other area, and in mostly in Kerala. Kerala, what happens? The coastal area there is a backwater. For example, the front will be the sea area. Here you will find the tidal waves and everything, and the back you will find the shallow water, the undisturbed water. There will be no disturbance. There will be no waves, and this area, the complex set of area, we will call as a backwaters. Okay, so here the same water body, but it has been protecting by one piece of land. Okay, so this land we called as a barrier island. So here only same water is there, but the geographical depositional setting is different. I'll give you one example. For example, if you test the water here and the soil here on the west side of the on the left side of the photo, if you check that, you will find sand and salt material and everything. There will be no grasses. Okay, but whereas if you see on the east, what will happen? This is the undisturbed water. There is no wave. So undisturbed water, usually what happens? First, all the chemical material will get settled down, and second, organic depositional will be continuously there. Like for example, sewage release, wastewater release, etc., etc. The people might be dumping on the this water on the right side of the water, and what will happen? The grasses, the aquatic animals, the fishes, it will start growing here. Okay, on the east side. So what will happen? On the east side, it is capable to produce a vegetation, but whereas on the west side, continuous river flow, sorry, the sea wave flow is there, so it will be keep on disturbing. So this disturbance, due to disturbance, there will be no aquatic plants will be growing here, but on the east it will be growing. So due to the barrier island, it has been cutted down. So this is very huge big concept, because we have to understand this basic concept, because western offshore basin. Okay, if you strike any oil and gas near the Mumbai coastal, that makes a sense. But when we travel off the coast from the Mumbai, 200 kilometer into the sea, again there we have a rig setup and we do the drilling. But how we are doing the drilling? So we have to know the depositional, because Mumbai today it is a one piece of land, but in the history it was a seven piece of land. So seven piece of land got merged, and it has been become a island, and the vegetation was entirely different there, but today it is totally pure metropolitan city now. So like these waves and everything, wave generated ripple marks are symmetrical in shape. Okay, so this symmetrical in shape represent the wave shapes. Okay, so like when you recover any sample, this wave shape you will be finding here. So in the sideways, if you look for the wave shape, it will be like this only. But if you see from the top view, you can clearly see the wave shape. I'll also show you some photos on that. So like fossil reef. Okay, so this fossil reef also, like in our sea, some sea area will be having a good quality of the aquatic system and the vegetation, where the deposition and everything get properly deposited, and it forms a fossil reef. Sometimes what are the materials are deposited down beneath the earth surface, it will come up in the form of volcanic eruption, and again it will form a mountain. So like we can recognize the reef and lagoon environment in the geological record. There are some reef also. So like coral reef and all. Up to this, any doubts? Because now we have to enter into project quickly. So is there any doubts from your side?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, what is the difference between the fossil reef and the coral reef?
Yeah. So like today, the coral reef you can see in the Indian Ocean majorly. Okay. So today, if you go and recover that coral reef, it will be whatever the present live generation is there. That is called coral reef. And once it get deposited further beneath the earth surface, and if you recover after the 350 million year ago, or maybe due to some tectonic disturbance, if it comes upside, then you will be called as a fossil reef. The property of the coral reef remains the same, so it will be tested by the geologists, that fragment and everything. But today, if you dive into the sea or ocean through any the ship and all, then if you take any coral sample, that you will declare as a coral sample only. Okay, it will be the fresh and alive. Okay, so once it get older and get died and it get deposited, if you recover after 300 or 400 million year after in the future, so it will be formed in a fossil. Fossil means the major thing, it got died and buried, and today it is a fossil. Okay.
Hello, sir. But there are some coral islands also, like Lakshadweep. So
Lakshadweep.
there we can find there we can find the fossil reefs. So is there
Yeah,
any possibility to find?
yeah. For fossil reef, you can see. For example, see, so have you seen any natural bigger diamond in your hand today, till today?
No, sir.
Okay,
No.
so for example, mostly you might have checked the sample up to it might be in a centimeter only. So I have checked some sample which were around more than the size was around natural diamond. So it was around more than 17 centimeter. So almost around 20 centimeter the sample was there. So these samples, if we dig from bottom of the earth surface, and if you take outside, so it will be like a natural extraction, natural excavation. Okay, so but whereas you said Lakshadweep and these areas, some samples will be automatically coming up during some land. So every year our land mass, they move from one place to other place, probably around 1 inch or 1.5 inch. Continuously our land get moving and moving, but our people, we don't properly notice that. Only the geological, they keep on, even the trees move. Okay, so in minutely, if you check, if you place any marking on that, so within a year it might have moved from one place to another place around the 1 or 1.5 inches. So this is how the natural diamond, sometimes it comes to the earth surface, sometimes emerald, that gems also it comes to the earth surface. So if you go to the coral reef area, definitely you can find new coral as well as the old coral, because our nature is continuously, as we see in the rock cycle, it will go down, it will come up, and if there, even though if there is no the volcanic eruption, there will be some water geyser eruption. Okay, the water will be coming out from in the form of geyser. Okay, so that time the deposited fossil will be appearing on the earth surface. So this is how the continuously the pattern remains the same.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Okay. Yeah.
sir, once again, can tell you delta is very natural and resources based. Once again, can explain, sir, please.
Delta region.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you want to know the deposition setting or what?
Deposit setting, sir.
Okay, so deposition setting is simple here. 1 second, I'll show again. Yeah. So in this, what dot you have? Hello.
Sir,
Yeah. In this diagram, what dot you have?
sir, delta place is oil and gas are high to get well resources. Why, sir? The recent explanations I have
Yeah.
doubts.
Okay. So see, as I said clearly, if you go near any beach area where there is no vegetation, because in beach soil, only one or two to three type of the grasses and the plants grow on the beach soil. Other than that, nothing grows on the sand soil. But when you go to the deltaic area, there will be no beach soil. Okay, so like the sand you cannot find there. And in the deltaic area, why we declare as a deltaic area means, it will, for example, let us take the West Bengal. So in the West Bengal, we have a major deltaic area. For example, I'll show here. Um,
Sir, Bay of Bengal.
yeah, Bay of Bengal. One second. Yeah. Yeah. So is the screen visible? Hello?
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
visible, sir.
So like as I
Yes, sir.
said, this river Ganga is meeting the Bay of Bengal. Okay. So before this, we have to check from where this river is getting originated. So like when you see the India map, it might have originated from the northern hills. Okay. So in the northern hills, it will be like the river will be in the frozen part. So during the summer or sometimes during the winter season, there will be continuous glacier storms, the slides. So what will happen? It will pull all the material from mountain and it will travel along the city continuously, and it will travel through the Uttar Pradesh and all other states, and it will collect all the, there will be so many organic deposition. Animal will be dying, the sewage waste of the urban city, and again trees, dead organism, the fish will be die. So all this organic matter, it will drag and it will be, the erosion will be continuously forming from that point. So it will be traveling continuously, and it will deposit at some area. So this area, you can see this area, it looks like a fan, which we use. The Chinese fans are there, the hand fan. So this, it looks like a hand fan. So here, what will happen? Here, the continuous deposition will be there. So this area, it will be pure vegetation because it has dragged all the organic material, all the organic soils, the fertile first layer soils from the paddy culture, and it will get continuous deposited here. And this area will not have sand soil. Okay, there will be no sand. Okay, there will be soil, very clay type of soil. So when you see any clay type of soil and so many plants and mostly what happen when you see this deltaic area, it will be not only the soil but mangrove tree. Okay, mangrove tree and so many, the trees which grow on the water continuously. Mostly in the Kerala side, if you go on the backwaters, there are so many trees. It has been grown in the soil, but it will be continuously remain staying in the water only throughout the year. So in this area, if you see, there will be huge number of vegetation, and this vegetation, what will happen? It will continuously getting deposited in the same area, and again new layer of soil will come. The small tree, grasses and tree, it will get deposited. So this process, it will be day by day, it will be the same. Years and years, thousands of years, the process will remain the same. And after 1 lakh, the 1 lakh years, these sediments will touch to the molten layer, like the volcanic eruptions are there, molten lava is there, and this will get heaten up and again it will come up. So this is how the sedimentary and everything, the rock cycle will happen. So you asked how, what is this deltaic area? So deltaic area means from point A to point B, it will drag all the fertile alluvial soil and organic matters and it will deposit here. And when you go and visit this area, there will be high number of vegetation. Vegetation means the plantation, the trees, the grasses, and the small fish, the frog. So it will be very high number. Okay, so this area, it will not have any sand. It will be having mud clay. Okay, so this area you will call as a delta area. So this delta area, it is, throughout the India coastal area, we have 1,196 landing site. Okay, 1,196 landing site. So in this landing site, more than 600 plus are deltaic area. Maybe small deltaic area. So major recognized deltaic area is like in the east coast in Tamil Nadu you have one. Again in West Bengal you have one. Then again in the Orissa there is one deltaic area. So like that in the map you can see, and also this is how the deltaic formations and everything is done continuously.
Sir, there might be a possibility of having a hydrocarbon-rich area near the deltaic areas.
Yeah, near the deltaic area and nearby the deltaic. And see, today if you go and visit the deltaic area, you can see only the grass and everything, not the the oil and gas. So what will happen? This movement, it will go into the sea only. Okay, so like you have to check the areas. For example, yesterday I have shown this area, like. Uh,
Sir, but why government is not declaring this area as hydrocarbon-rich area? If
uh,
there is a possibility.
See, already you might be knowing in deltaic area only in Tamil Nadu, government has given the approval to take the the oil and gas, but due to the protest and riots, all the project has been holded up till today. But only the commercial activity at deltaic area is west coast. Another thing, we have to protect the deltaic area also, because it will prevent the soil erosion and everything mostly, or else if you don't protect this area, again it will go into some environmental damage, because nearby this area it will be organic rich area which is favorable for the aquatic system. So mostly as of now our country and everything, we are not targeting this deltaic area majorly. And also in the deltaic area means in the Tamil Nadu there is a Kaveri basin. So in the Kaveri basin, why all this basin is having Cambay basin and Mumbai offshore basin, Kaveri basin. Then again when you go to the Andhra Pradesh, there is a Krishna Godavari basin. All these basins they have kept the river name. Okay, why they have kept the river name means all this river carry the deposits and they dump at certain point. And today we extract this area as we declare this area as a oil and gas productive basin. Okay, so today you see the deltaic area. Today you cannot extract here, but the nearby that area already we have OGC companies and other area, so they are doing the extraction. So maybe today's deltaic area will be converting after 200 million in the future. Okay, at that time by that time we will be not present actually. So in our future generation will be extracting the area which we are looking now.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So now again almost 7:30. 1 second, because of yet we have not entered into our project because like 2 to 3 testing we have to do. Okay, so I'll do one thing. 1 second, I'll just check my schedule whether I have some other day too. Arvind, are you there online? Hello, Arvind Anthony. Hello. Do I have my schedule? Can you send my schedule for oil and gas? The schedule. Yeah, my schedule. I think today is my third day. I think on the last week I have my own lecture, I guess, because I have to split up the project this thing also, because project part is pending now. On 29th. Okay, fine. Okay, then thank you. Yeah. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay. So students, one thing today we can do, only one PPT is left now. I'll quickly take. So it will be overview of our project, and I'll by tomorrow I'll pass the the basic datas and the things which you have to study. Because on the project part, the major thing is we have to analyze the samples. Okay, the samples will be I'll be showing the samples. uh, so these are the rock sample. See, this has been recovered. I have recovered this sample at Jurassic period, which age is around 350 million year ago. So you can see small white patches. So these are decayed calcium material. The shell and animals. Here also one shell is there. So like this, we have recovered the sample. So likewise for our project, yeah. So we have to do the study. I have changed all the details here, because we cannot put the original well sample name. So I have kept the well number, well name as a 8, and depth also I have changed, and recovery is 100%. So we have to test all these sample and everything. So now what I'll do, I'll just quickly go through the intro of our project, so that already now it is 7:34. So within 10 minutes, we'll try to complete this one. And you have 2 days time. Tomorrow is Sunday, and on 29th we have one more session for me. So during that time, we'll complete the project part. So project part 1 we'll complete now itself. 1 second. So I think the project reports, are you preparing? Is there any doubt? Because I have seen some messages in group that you have not understood the project format. Do anyone is having any issue on the project format or any worries on that?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. Each mentor, the topic is already given, so they'll be teaching on their topic. You can write what is your understanding, and for our oil and gas also, previous PPT and today's PPT, all the PPT I'll give to you, except yesterday. Yesterday's PPT I'll just refine something because all crucial and confidential details are there. I have to remove those things and I'll pass it to you. Your project title is Reservoir Characterization, Coring and Core Analysis based on the sedimentological attributes of the core of the well from the western offshore basin of India. Okay, so this is your project title, and I'll be giving you the standard industrial format. So you have to follow that. So today, we'll be just looking the overview of the project, and we'll continue the major project on on the 29th. We'll complete that. So our project objective is to understand the sedimentological attributes. What is that sedimentological attribute? The sedimentological deposits, the texture, the patterns, the color, and how it got sedimented. What are the lithofication? Okay, how it looks like. Okay, so all these things you have to understand. And our sample is already recovered by the geologists and the people. So there is no need to mark the era. Okay, already the era is marked. Like our sample is from late Paleocene to lower Eocene. Okay, so this lithology, what does this lithology means? Okay, so lithology means the physical characteristics. As I said, what are the things visible to your eye? Okay, the color, the texture, the grain size, the composition. Okay, so these are the things it is that. So the project is to understand the sedimentological attributes of the late Paleocene to lower Eocene sediment to describe the lithology, textural attributes, sedimentary features, reservoir characterizations, and a reconstruction of the depositional environment based upon the conventional core of the exploratory well. Okay, so we recovered the sample not from the production well, we have recovered the sample from the exploratory well. Okay, the study is incorporating the core studies for the megascopic, microphases, lithostratigraphy, and scanning electron microscope, and finally integrating them for the interpretation of the reservoir characteristic and the depositional environment. Actually, why we do this project, in that well, when we were present on that offshore platform, we crossed the targeted zone. For example, we crossed some around 3,999 meter, almost nearby 4,000 meter. Okay, that was the pay zone, and we have exceeded the pay zone, but yet we were not able to find the oil and gas. So this is why we decided, to do the core analysis and to understand because ultimately what happened, the well logging data, the seismic data, everything got failed up. So that is why what we did, we, and doing the core process, it will the additional investment to the company. So that is why it is very, very crucial to understand the core analytics. And this is the final process where we finally predict. Predict means we will finally give the conclusion of the deposit, because none of the other technology or other testing methods, it never give the proper report. So this is a final report which where we will do the interpretation of the reservoir characterization and the depositional setting, which were in the past how it got deposited. So like our working model will be like to test and examine the first 100 depositional sequence penetrated by the drill bit of the conventional core of the west of the well west offshore basin, to provide core report of the conventional core by undergoing some special sample test. Okay, so like the first test will be like you have to find the lithological description. So lithology means the texture, color, what are the things which is visible, the composition, etc. To your eyes. So it is called the lithological description. That test we have to do. Then we have to undergo macroscopic species, core screening, and we have to undergo scanning electron microscope testing, and X-ray diffractive test we have to do, and energy dispersion test EDS we have to do, and like CT scanning, optical CI, core gamma ray testing. So like this, n number of tests are there where you have to do. So what will be our methodology? So like the available two conventional core were studied for the sedimentological attributes, including detailed megascopic and petrographic analysis. So what during the test, what we'll be doing? We'll be testing the megascopic and the petrographic analysis. Okay. So the study has brought out the lithological variation, mineralogical composition, reservoir characterization, and the depositional setting. So during the test, what we will be finding, we will be finding lithological variation, whether it has a porosity or not, whether the holes and pores are present or not, how it looks, is there any crystal, is there any coal sample, how it is done. This variation we have to check here. And second, we have to test whether any minerals are present. So mineralogical composition testing also we have to do. Then reservoir characterization. Once all this is done, then we will be doing the reservoir characterization and continued by the depositional setting. Okay, so the following methodology will be learned, and observation will be made for the megascopic and the petrographic study. So this is the final thing. Once all the physical testing and small testing are done, the final testing is like you have to do the interpretation of the core sample. Okay, so this will be our methodology. This thing kindly note it down. This is a crucial detail. Because other details it is for understanding, but when you go to the company, you have to, whenever you handle any core sample, you have to write down. You should know, if anyone tells like how to note down the core sample detail, then you have to tell them like sir, like we have to note down the structure number, we have to note down the well number, we have to note down the core number, and again we have to note down what is the depth interval from which depth we have recovered the sample, and we have to check the recovery rate. Okay, whether it is 100% or not, and how much meter we have recovered, and what is the age. So this age, it will be in a team. There will be senior geologist and chief geologist. So they will be predicting and giving the age of the sample, and also the formation, from which formation you have taken this sample. That is very, very important. Like our sample is from Pana block. It is from Bombay High. Okay, and also core bit size. Okay, all core are not same. Possibly, we will be we have to check the core bit size too. It might be 8 inch, 15 inch, maybe 32 inch or etc. And the core bit size number will be also there. So this all this detail probably it will be given by the service providers. So but our work is that we have to note down all these things. All will be available, but you should not miss anything, and you have to note down. And also there will be, for example, as I said, we recover 9 meter of sample, and we have to cut the sample into each 1 meter piece. Okay, so total, if you cut 9 meter sample into each 1 meter, so total 9 meter sample we'll be having. So each box you have to mark with your paint. Okay, so you will be having a paint there. So with the paint you have to mark on the on the boxes, like 1/9, 2/9, 3/9. Okay, so this will be the box number. You have to keep the name. And again, what is the budget spent for the coring? So I have spent, you have noted here, like estimated annual coring cost, it is around 1.7 billion per annum. So like so doing this thing, it will be given by the senior managers. They'll be giving the estimated annual coring cost. So like our location, have our well number is A97, but our extraction, and it was from, likely it was from a different well. So we cannot disclose the well name. From this location, the Pana and Mukta and Mumbai High, in that border area only we have recovered. So this area, for the project sake, we have changed the well number. Like let us keep A97. So our project well number will be A97. So like let us see the 3D visual image of the Western Offshore Basin. So in one Western Offshore Basin, you have so many type of basin here: Ratnagiri, Gira Basin, Pana Basin, Panvel Basin, Bombay High, Surat, Saurashtra, Kori, Self Margin, Murad. So like this, you have to n number type of basin. So we have to check in which basin our basin is lying, and all these are predicted through the reservoir simulation software and everything. Okay, so we'll be comparing that too. So now our objective, again coming back to this, our major agenda and objective for the project is to, this test is based on the examination of the core from A97 Pana block well of the Western Offshore Basin of India. Second, this core, conventional core, and see, this total 9 meter conventional core, it got broken down into many pieces during the extraction. Okay, so there were total 156 sample. Okay, so like we'll be putting all the 156 sample, but we'll be not testing the entire sample. So these 156 samples were collected at a depth of, have reduced the depth here for the project sake. Even you can put whatever depth you can put. So like 2222 meter I have put from the well A97 Pana block of Western Offshore Basin. And the final thing, the result is like, we have to find, to reveal the core report for hydrocarbon presence, reservoir characterization, and the depositional sequence and the setting. So this is our objective, to find out this project. So before we, go into any core analysis project, what's the basic thing you have to understand? How much more do I need to know? Okay, so how much more you should know about this thing? Okay, so first is like, you should know how much heterogeneous is my reservoir. Okay, so like the combinational of the organic matter and other matter, and how, whether it is prospective or not. So you have to find how heterogeneous is my reservoir. Second, you have to check the core and log based reservoir characterization. Okay, so these are the things, the core and the log and everything you have to check, because the log might have, the well logging method might have failed. That is why we are doing the core. So the reservoir characterization we have to find out. And also the major thing, historic well data. The major one thing is, we have cross the time limit, cross the depth also, but yet we are not able to find the oil and gas. But still the data shows that oil and gas is present. So we have to know whether oil and gas got dried up, or maybe some due to chemical reaction, or the hydrocarbon might have converted into some other form. So this thing, the basic thing you have to understand. So history is very, very important. That is why historic well data we will be learning. And again, historic field studies we will be conducting. Digitalized data also we will be converting into that. And the baseline data set. So all these things you should know before to go into the core analysis part. So why the core matters? So like as I said, well logging and other crucial the advancement techniques got failed, and yet we are not able to find the hydrocarbon and oil and gas. So what we did, core gives the confirmation, the final confirmation, the lithology and mineralogy, because the materials, the advanced device which we send beneath and they track everything, trace everything, it is like, you know, the prediction only, not 100% pure. Okay, but here we will be having the sample in our hand. We will be having the sample which is 350 million year ago. You can check the sample in your with your own eyes whether it contains core or not. So that is why core analysis is very important to give the final confirmation for the lithology and mineralogy. Second, it calibrates the estimate of fundamental rock property. So major thing is not only this, we can check the rock properties, whether it is chemical, organic, coal, etc. So you will be knowing the conclusion, what type of rock, whether we want to do the drilling or we have to close the drilling. So we will be taking a decision. Also, it will show how fluids occupy and flow into the pore space. So you will be having the rock sample ultimately in your hand, and you know you can see the pore spaces in that. So you can see how much fluid can occupy and how much pore it will be there and how it will flow. So all these things you can get confirmed. Okay. Also, it will be supply mechanical property for faster and safer drilling and better completion. So once the rock sample is up, you will be knowing that what type of drilling bit you can use. So you know if the compaction is high, then you know definitely you can increase the strength of the drill bit. You can go for another upgraded type of drill bit, and you can go for the this thing. So log, as I said, logs cannot characterize a reservoir if the knowledge of rock is absent. So this is a real truth in the petroleum, you know, the oil and gas industry in the upstream sector. Okay, well logging and everything, it is advancement is there, but they cannot characterize because they don't know the property of rocks. If the property of rock is unknown, then the technology fails here. So that is why core testing is very important. So yeah. So basically, the core analysis volumetric formula is this only. So like OIP means oil initially in the place. Okay. So how we find out that? So the geophysicist, he determined gross rock volume. Okay. He will be giving the report on this. It is a multiple teamwork game, not with a single engineer or a single team. We cannot do. We should have a couple of a team with us to, you know, to formalize this thing. So yesterday I showed that government is offering the oil and gas block for the lease. In that they have given OIP only, oil in place. Okay, that much only they are given. But how they calculated that? They calculated using this software, this formulation. Okay, so net to gross. Okay, so net to gross, you know, it is predicted by the petrophysicists. So they used to do the log and well test and the core test, and they give the report for this. And again, porosity, log and core test, they give the report. And for the water saturation, again through the, you know, logs and core test, we can give the values. So for each tabular column, there will be each row we have to keep on calculating, and we have to find out the mean value. Okay, so it is a huge formulation. So not only with one formula, for each sample we will be getting some XYZ number. Okay, so like that, around we will be testing around 20, 30, 50, and from 50 we will be getting the maximum probability and converting into the value, mean value. So we will be taking that value as a consideration for this OIP. So this is how the formation volume factor through the PVT analysis, etc. So all this type of engineers, you know, the scientists require to do the core analysis. So like the reserves. So like why the reserves matters here again. So oil in place and into recovery factor. Okay. So this will be only the reserve, total reserve, you know, economical factor. So this, as I said yesterday, we have one free webinar for the evaluation of oil and gas. So here this formulation, our scientist is there. So he'll be teaching how, you know, the reserves we have to formulate. Recovery factor is very important because oil and gas owners and everyone, they want to know because their profit and loss is depends on the technical and economical factors which is given by this. So this recovery factor is partly defined by the formation relative permeability from the core. So from the core sample only we will be knowing what is this reserves and what is this recovery factor. Yeah. So like core data. So from core data, do we get value? So the ground truth for the formation evaluation, but the lab. Okay. So the lab, what will happen? Will be variable lab data quality and method sensitivity, and again poor lab reporting standards, and again sometimes the if the scientists are if the equipment is not proper in the lab also, if they don't provide proper quality report, then definitely the core analysis will be also failing. So that is why in our India, like the companies like SGS and ONGC lab, so these companies they have their own private labs for testing the standard everything, because they have the huge investment. They do the core analysis testing properly. And again okay, so like end user, again what will happen if the lab fail? The end user, the client, what will happen? Inadequate planning and inappropriate design. So even the core analysis will get failed. So that is why it is also very important to carefully handle the core. So like as we said, this the how this core sample looks like. So the sample will provide the detailed lithological description, porosity, permeability, fluid saturation, grain density. So all these predicted by the petroleum reservoir engineers. So they will be doing all this testing to to understand the coring process. So like coring assembly and core bit. So like see, there is a drill core collar connection, and there is a thrust bearing, there is a outer core barrel, and there is a inner barrel, and core retaining ring is there, and again core bit is there. So this core bit, it will continuously grind. So the core bit will be like this, and they have a hole in between. So whatever sample it is coming, it will collect inside this barrel. So 9 meter will be collected here, and this 9 meter will be taken up to the surface. So like let us see why this core data is required. So our core data is required, for the well bore stability status. Okay, whether our well is stable or not, whether it will produce or not. So these data will be given by this only. And again, sometimes if it is a sand deposit, mostly sometimes we mostly recover the crude oil from the sand only. Okay, so sand will also coming, sand will disturbing a lot during the drilling. So we need to control the sand, where we have to put some filter down the hole. So for that also data is required. Why data is required? If you collect the sample up, you can see the the core size, the sorry, the sand size. So once the sand size is known, you can design the filter size, so that the sand will not come into the well bore. So this is why sand control data is required for the need of sand control. And subsidence potential. So this is for the commercial thing. Like the company owners, they want to know whether the oil and gas is there, or they will go for any some other technique. So to locate all these bearing structure, our major the aim is to, like, we have to locate this hydrocarbon bearing structure which will produce the oil and gas. So there are 14 type of testers in the laboratory, but we will not doing the entire step. So we will be doing the SEM, and we will be doing the EDS and special core analysis. Some testers will be doing. So these are the major things. Mostly in the PG, the people, those who are there in the the geology and the petrophysics. So these testers are very important. And in the industry laboratory people, those who are engaged in the geological lab, so they do the entire testing. So this is entirely different. So like in the core testing, see, we have to place the core sample by sample, and you have to test. So we will be having a lab, and under the roof only you will be checking each core sample, how the pattern is looking, how it is visible to us. So like this image, it is for the presentation purpose. So like in the North Sea of European region, so that are frozen area. So when you recover the sample, for major depth, it will be like ice particle. So in this ice particle also, the years of year old, the deposits, the fish, animal, and the previous histories, all this might have, it will be visible in that sample. So they have put in the steel, I think a stainless steel, and they have protecting in the cold storage lab. So this is our Indian lab, because we are staying a tropical climatic area. So this is a real photo of our core sample. And so our sample, it looks like this only. So the major thing is, today this core sample, just we had an overview, and major thing is tomorrow on the 29th, we'll be going step by step each core sample. We will be learning what are the core sample in it, and we have to study like each core sample, how it looks like and everything. And also I'll be sharing you some patterns. Just go through it, because I'll test some one and two rock sample. I'll show you how to test and check everything, and remaining I'll call one by one. So you people has to, in online itself, you have to start describing how this rock sample looks like. So like I'll teach you on 29th like how it looks like, and you have to give the answer. So now I think we have exceeded today the time. So let us finish. So is there any questions, feedback, queries? You can ask me now.
Sir, what project we have to make
For our
for this session?
yeah. So here, one second. Like the first 29th project. Okay. So like today, do one thing like the previous classes, the two classes, the project management and the drilling. Okay, so like the first point you cover like how many type of the drilling steps are involved, and what type of rigs are there. I'll send you like the kind of the synopsis and agenda. I'll send you the group. Okay, so in that 5 to 6 point, during Sundays or next few days, you just try to complete. Maybe cover up in the at least 10 pages. That's it. Not don't exceed the more than 10 pages. And apart from that, on 29th only we will be doing the major project, which I showed the teaser now, the core analysis. So on that we'll be doing the major description, and that is only the major project. It will be the practical project. Like I'll be teaching the sample, and again you have to learn, and you have to demonstrate that. So that you have to put into the report form, because during the if you go to any companies for the interviews and everything, only that report it will helpful for you. So now, as of now, previous topic like the type of drill bits, and like what type of drilling units are there, onshore, offshore, and the commercial parts which we covered yesterday, and some example for the the commercial part. So I'll do one thing. Just after closing this session, I'll just type and I'll put in the group. I'll put in the Word document, so there will be a clear clarity. Okay.
Okay.
Sir, I was asking about the main topic that, like the first session that Bhagwan Gavai sir has he has told us to make the project on how to build refinery.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I am asking that is there any one topic that we should write on the heading?
Yeah, I think for Dr. Bhagwan Gawai sir's already the title is on cover page. In the
Yes, sir.
report which I shared in the group, no, already the title is the same, so you can maintain the same, and also the index also inside there, no, it is also the same,
Yes,
because the process remains the same, because we were into some refinery option also. Like you might be knowing, no, in South India there is a Nagarjuna Oil Corporation refinery, NOCL, like in the South India. So what we did 3 years back, competing with Adani Group and Haldia Petrochemical, we started acquiring that refinery. I'll just show an article on the page. So like why it is very so Dr. Bhavan Gawai has given the entire input, which is really needed to build the refinery. So like it is he has given the step-by-step process. Oh, one second. So like you can see so many articles like our Citus group, even We have competed with Bharat Petroleum also, and even Bharat Petroleum people also they got failed. So like in media, I think this is not getting. So like you can see, Cytex Venture failed to submit the bid amount, and bid was not considered by the COC. So like there are so many articles in the market. You can check that. So we were trying to invest, some around 20,000 crores on the refinery to take the refinery, which were run by the Nagarjuna Group, Tata Group, Trafigura. There are topmost MNCs in the world. So we tried to take the refinery, but ultimately due to some, the hiccups in the project, we stopped that. And Dr. Bhavan Gawai sir has given you the, multilateral, the idea on the concept of the refinery. So like the team which Mukesh Ambani and Tata groups they already have the refineries and everything. So this project report which we shared you the topics, no, the project reports remains the same. In that due course only we will do the entire project. So don't change that index which Bhavan Gawai sir project reports has. Continue with that, and you have to write accordingly your understanding of that. And definitely in your future, if suppose, as I said, if you have any possibilities, to do the business and gain $1 million, definitely, and that time that document will be helping, because a document and a PPT which he thought it is very very crucial one, because it work is something different. Okay. So use that format and build up, and don't hesitate to prepare the format also, because you will not get chance outside easily to prepare that, because for doing that analysis, actually we showed you in the other format. For doing that analysis, we gave to our consultancy 35 lakhs for preparing that PPT. So probably run down the same thing. And apart from that, for reservoir simulation, so what did he? I think you might have studied this thing, no? The softwares, how to predict the basins and all.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what was the major scope for that reservoir simulation?
Sir, we need.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So like, what was the scope like in the reservoir simulation class?
Sir, it was really informative. Like we can do simulations, and we got to know the difference between the stimulation and simulations. And sir, it is very necessary to predict the any reservoir. Is this enough for the oil production or not?
Okay. So did you done any calculations in that?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So I'll do one thing.
Actually,
So I'll do one thing. Yeah. Hello.
hello. Sir, regarding software calculation, are you asking
Yeah. Yes.
about
Yes.
Steam
Yeah. Yeah.
Optic? So we
We
have
did
put
that,
a
sir.
values and run the software and obtain some graphical result.
Okay, fine, fine, fine. So, did he guided anything on like how to prepare project report based upon that?
No, sir, he didn't guided about project report.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'll do one thing. Now it is 8 o'clock. So around 9:30, like I think you might be started preparing Dr. Bhavan Gawai sir the project reports. No. Hello.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So like you just keep on doing that, and by 9:30 today, I'll just speak to the mentors, the remaining mentor, and also what project report partially you have to prepare for my topic. And on 29th, we'll be completing our project report, like some analysis parts we have to do practically. So based upon that, you can frame up. So project one and project two you can complete, and for project 2 I'll be guiding around 9:30. So 9:30 I'll send you the details over the group, so everyone you can follow up the same format. Okay.
Okay,
sir,
sir.
Yeah.
for each and every mentor, we have to prepare the project report for their
uh,
topics.
yeah,
Is it like
Sir,
that?
we have to prepare differently or in the same format that we have received.
like for uh, like crude oil refining, crude oil construction, and for my topic, the report and design will be remain the same. Only the inside information will be different. But for reservoir simulation and for other topic, I'll just speak to that mentors, because last time what we did, like we were launched these courses like 30 days courses, okay, each topic. So this time, to get the entire insight, we combined all the 6 topics into one course. So like just give me today 1 day time for Bhagwan Gawai search, and for me the format remains the same. For remaining, I'll just clarify with them and will update by tomorrow or in the WhatsApp. And also tomorrow is Sunday. Like Monday also, like during the end of the session, I'll just come and give you the entire feedback and everything. Okay, if you have any doubts.
Okay, sir.
And apart from
Yes,
this,
sir.
like on the topics, I'll
Okay,
share
sir.
you the PPT. I'll share you the PPT. Like if you have any doubts, just write down a write a mail to me. And on Sunday or anything, we can arrange a phone call. And one document I want to share with you. It is based upon the entrepreneurship. 1 second.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Sir, we are submitting daily assignments as well.
Yeah. Daily assignment, like it is just the one page assignment you have to prepare, like what you studied, just for your record sake, because I know double works, it's like it's a bit hard, but thing is this is one time investment for this 15 days only. So assignment also, like today what we have done, just put a hint, just put a link, and what output you got, that's it. Within 1 or 1.5 page, you because once you complete this session, immediately you take a note, or else during the session itself, you can open parallelly your notepad or any word document, and you just have to start typing. So in future definitely it will be helpful. So do you find any difficulty on that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. So one document I want to show with you, like one business opportunity is there. So like by December, you'll be getting the opportunity. Is my screen visible?
No,
Yes, sir.
sir.
No, sir.
No.
No visible, sir.
Yeah.
Not visible, sir.
Yeah. Okay. One second. So now it is visible.
Yes, sir, visible.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
like is there anyone like in our group, like are you like really interested, like in the future or in upcoming days, you want to commence any business?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
like yeah. So as you know, see, yesterday I showed you the values of the oil block, oil rigs, and the values which I said, it is in thousands of crores, billion, trillion, millions. Okay. So today it is very hard, I know, but definitely one day we can reach. So like in December month, probably the government will be inviting for more than 5,000 retail outlet bunks. Okay. So there is a restriction in India now. What happened earlier? Those who are having the land and money, only they were able to apply the petrol bunk, the retail outlet dealership. But today there is a scheme for startup also. Like you can commence a company and you can enter into the business. If you don't have land, also you can take a land on lease and you can go for the bank loan. And again, the government will once you get the if the petrol dealership, you will get allotted, you can take this also. So like I am doing we are doing consultancy also on this, and we also own many petrol bunk across Maharashtra and all. So these are the crucial detail, like you can note it down, like I have done the estimation. For example, the entire investment to be done by the dealer. For example, in the land, okay. So in the highways, maybe in the urban, semi-urban, or in the national highways, if you have any land, okay. So that does not come into the business calculation. So I have marked as a not applicable. If you go for the lease of the land and everything, definitely you can enter into the partnership. For example, suppose I have a land, and I don't have commercials. So then what you do, you have to tie up with the landowner, do the partnership agreement, and enter into that. So you can go into the 50-50 profit sharing. A normal typical petrol bunk, you'll be getting a profit around a minimum 1 lakh or 1.5 lakh per month. Okay, per month you will be getting. So how you will get? I'll just show some of few calculations. So like the first thing, you have to install two fuel dispenser machine. Okay, one for petrol and one for diesel. So minimum this setup should be there. So it will take 20 lakhs. Okay, so around nowadays in each fuel dispenser machine, you can see there will be 4 to 5 additional pumps. So that dispenser pump, it costs around 30 lakhs or 35 lakhs. So minimum range is 20 lakhs. Okay, and you have to set up one small office there. So each petrol bunk, you might have taken your vehicle there, and there is a sales room. Okay, so in that sales room, you have to build that small sales room. So it will take a civil cost around 10 lakhs. Okay, then again, the minimum setup driveway, it is very very important, to park the vehicle, and to park the trucks and all. So the 750 square meter driveway has to be prepared. You have to do the flooring work and everything. So you have to hire that contractor, and it will also get completed around the 10 lakhs. Okay, then again, now the underground tanks. Okay, to store the petrol and diesel in underground, you have to spend around 10 lakhs for that. Okay, for the two tanks. And canopy is the roof that Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum, they have the roofs, no? So that is called canopy. So that canopy setting is also 10 lakhs. So this total investment will be, excluding the working capital, it will be around 60 lakhs. Okay, so some of my friends, they were having only 3 to 5 lakhs, but they are successfully running the petrol pump, because if they don't have a fund, they can commence a company with 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees. They can apply this. They can tie up with the landowner also. They can do the lease, and or they can go for the partnership. Again, they can bring some investor inside. They can do the investment part, and it payback period will be within 4 years, 5 years you have to repay. After 5 years, the entire petrol bunk you will be having the full ownership. Okay, so this is how you have to spontaneously think practical way. Okay, because this is only the crucial part, and here you can assume approx 60 lakhs investment. Now, depending upon the type of petrol pump, if some part of the investment is made by the company, you can deduct from this 60 lakh. Okay. So if suppose there is some option, like you have to speak with the retail zonal officers, like you can say like I have this much of fund, and for remaining I don't have the fund. So accordingly, the company will do some part of the investment. Okay. So if it is a CODO means company owned dealer operator category, in which company will take land on lease. For example, if you have any empty land on the highways, don't keep it empty. Okay, approach these companies. You tell them that I have an empty land, and I, interested to put a petrol pump. So I want to go for the CODO option. So where the company will operate and do the entire business, and they will give the rental. You will get a super solid rental. Okay, so entire area you can develop properly. So like the company will take the land on lease, the investment in the machine, tank, canopy, sales room, driveway, etc. will be done by the company. Only land cost need to be borne by the dealer. So the only land cost, ultimately, if you have the land cost, then you will do it. So one need to check depending upon the type of petrol pump. So actually, I have outlined the total investment required for the dealer owned dealer operator. So this is what mostly all people are operating like. We will getting the dealership, and we have to invest on our cost. Only the fuel will be supplying by the refineries like Hindustan Petroleum, Bharat Petroleum, IOCL, etc. Okay. So like land size is pretty much standardized by the government regulations. So here are the minimum requirements. Okay. So for the retail outlet, if it is in city, okay, there are two options. If it is a small highways, then you have to minimum you have to go for a 20 meter into 20, or else you have to go for the 40 meter into 40 for the major thing. And if it is in rural, then you have to go for 35 meter into 35. So these are the standard this thing. Now let us see the this is the impressive and attractive calculation here. income breakdown prediction. Example, on average only have calculator, you will getting a commission of rupees 3 for selling 1 liter of petrol. Okay, and while selling 1 liter of diesel, you will be getting a commission of 2. So what does this mean? For selling a 1 liter of petrol, you will getting 3 rupees, and for selling 1 liter of diesel, you will getting the 2 rupees. So according to this, if you sell 50 liter of petrol, gradually what happen in the highways, petrol will be going less, diesel will be high, because the truck and all, they fill so many liters of diesel. Within 2 days or 1 day, entire tank will be get empty. Okay, so 50 liter of the minimum value only I have taken the calculation, but it will run like anything in the highways. 50 liter of petrol I have sold, and diesel in a month I have sold 1.5. 1,50,000 liter of diesel I have sold. Then a total income of this will be 4,22,000 per month. Okay, so let's see the breakdown. Like for the petrol, if you sell for 3 rupees, 50,000 liters into 3. So for the petrol, you will be getting 1.5 lakh. For the diesel, 1.5 lakh into 2 rupees, you will be getting 3 lakh rupees profit. So this is the very minimum. So gross profit will be like 4,50,000 you will be having. The total expenditure, every day proper maintenance you have to do, some inspection you have to do, and in the petrol bunk you will be having your own employees. You have to do so many PF and everything, license you have to renew. So excluding the every maintenance and staff salary 1 lakh, you will be getting a net income of 3,50,000 per month. So this is how retail outlets, and specifically now startup people, youngster like us, we have a good opportunity to run this business. So like this lubricant dealership from the Hindustan Petroleum. So all this will be corporate level only. So it is not a small level business; it's a big level business, because people don't get easily the opportunity to put the retail outlet. So this is a big competition. So I hope people might have understand. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So any doubts you have in this?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
The last during the last 2 years, in 2018, I also applied for IOC dealership.
Okay. Okay.
And there are 10 members in that list, but the problem that was I was not having land
Okay. When you applied, which year?
in 2018 or 17, I think.
Which in which highways and which city, which area?
In Delhi, in
Okay.
southwest Delhi, and it is near the Goladeri Road, near our Najafgarh.
Achha. So how was the competition there in the Delhi? Might be many people might, but why you got rejected? Is there did you got the reason from them?
Sir, they selected only one person as he was having the land, his own land.
Okay. Yeah, that is
They
a
give priority to
yeah,
one
yeah,
who was
correct.
having land.
There is category A, B, C.
Yeah.
So category one if fulfills, then that is an issue. So that is
Yes,
one.
sir.
And how about the LPG running there, LPG, CNG and all in Delhi? Auto rickshaws and all, it might be running in CNG, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think for CNG also there is a I'll do one thing. This year might be some. They might be releasing some advertisement. Even we are expecting that now. So in Delhi, I'll refer some government official numbers. You can visit them. You will be getting the internal information before the announcement. Okay. So
Okay.
according to that, you can prioritize. See, again, it is our responsibility, to win the game.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Sometimes, see, if the land is not there, we have to try to, go for the partnership. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
that we can do, and just stay connected. If the application likely around December, it might be releasing. We are also expecting that, because so many people are there. So definitely we can work out.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Okay. I think today the IPL matches are starting. I think you people might be busy, so I'm carrying the classes now. So you just enjoy your
Sir,
time.
we are waiting, sir.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. We are waiting towards the match, sir.
Yeah, okay, okay, fine, fine. Do one thing today, enjoy your time. I'm not disturbing anymore. So, like, we can meet on 29th, okay? So, if you have any
Okay,
query,
sir. Thank you, sir.
if you have any
Yes,
queries,
sir.
just, just
Thank
call
you.
me. I'm ready to, guide anytime, okay?
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, the question was that we have to create a common file, project file that combining of Bhagwan Gawai sir and you.
No, no,
We
no,
have to
no, no.
make combined
No,
project.
no, 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 no. You have to differently create a five different projects like that. The different mentors will be signing and different stamping will be done. Okay.
Okay,
And
sir.
also
So actually,
because what happened for Bhavan Gawai sir's project, you will be getting a certificate from Dubai. Okay. For my project, I will
Okay,
be
sir.
receiving the certificate from my company, from Energy. Okay. So like for the each and for the
Okay, sir.
petroleum simulation, you might be receiving the certificate from like Scotland. So you have to file that. So that is why that is a major intention, to asking you to prepare the fire report.
so
Yeah.
so we have to
So
prepare five different five different
we will
reports.
get different certificates.
Yeah, yeah, you will be having. Last time, for the batches, for my batches, I issued two certificates. One is from Dubai and one is from India for the previous batch. And actually, one major thing, last time, actually, yesterday I was mentioning like last batch, in my batch there was a girl from NIT. She was studying chemical engineering. So around she was not having any knowledge, but this commercial knowledge it is required during the interview and tackling other students, because most of the other students they might be not having access to some information of the company which we have showed you now. So what happened in a NIT ExxonMobil company came, and she got selected last week. Okay, just now last week she just called up, and her payment package is around 11.9 lakhs per annum. So around 95,000 plus she is she got placed now. So she mentioned that for showing the comparison, she got some points to talk about that on the industry part and the company development. Majorly, if you go for any interview to any company, the company people looks whether the candidate has the technical knowledge. That is one. Second, they will check your behavioral and the aptitude. That is one. That is common thing which everyone tells. But the major thing, they want a person's diplomatic mindset. People. Okay. If the youngster and fresher they have the diplomatic mindset, they will definitely recruit, because even for my company, if I think if 10 people are there, from 10 out of 10 I'll be looking for one right candidate. Like uh, once he get combined into our team, come into a team, our profit, the project progress should be very high. So that is why our answers and everything should be in a diplomatic way. And this girl, she mostly talked about the industry and how to develop the industry and what is the the do's and don'ts and everything in a practical way. So she explained voluntarily like this got helped her. So like she'll be giving interview also soon. So like we'll be sharing the link too. So likewise, these reports definitely during the interviews or any other thing, it will be helping you. So that is why five report is important. Five different reports you prepare.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, one more question I have.
Yeah.
Sir, during the last month on 19th August, we had a meeting regarding this internship, and sir, after that we received a mail on which it was written that we will also get a certificate of that meeting also. So, sir, do we really get that certificate also?
Okay. You attend on 19th, no? Prashant Kumar. What is your
Yeah,
name? Prashant Kumar, no? I think
Prashant
already
Kumar.
already we spoke over the phone. I think certificate on 19th event already it has been issued. Just text me over the WhatsApp after the session. I'll just send your full name. I'll send you the certificate immediately.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, then students, let us continue on 29th because actually even I have some other. session 2 to continue. Other entrepreneurship development also is going on, so I have to shift there also. So like, is there any other further question? Or else you can write me email or text me also, or Sunday also you can call me up.
Okay, sir. I will text you or mail you. Good night, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good night, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
We will make.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.